Hi guys. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make felt flowers for a wreath. I went to Hobby Lobby and I got some supplies. They have smaller versions that you can get at the Dollar Tree. If you are trying to save a little bit of money, you can easily make a smaller one. I got the grapevine wreath. I believe this one's 18 inches. So I'm going to do some floral. And then I also got a wood letter, the letter C, that I'm also going to put on here. But it should be fun. I've not made felt flowers before. I did test out one last night when I was just playing when I got home because I was really excited about doing felt flowers. So this was one of them that I made. I won't use this one because it's green, but it's actually quite pretty. And I'm also going to make a peony, which is a little more difficult because you have to actually cut out each petal. But these you cut the circle around and you hot glue it together. But I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Just wait for a few people to join. We are wrapping up for Valentine's Day. We do have a few sales that are about to close. We have the hangers, the St. Patrick's Day hangers. That's going to end on the 1st. They are on sale for $12 right now. They're normally $15. Or you can get 2 for $20 if you have friends that you possibly want to paint with. So it is 2 for $20 for the St. Patrick's Day hangers. There's also a yardstick you can do. If you're just joining, make sure you say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. We also have a wreath that Trisha made live earlier this week. It is on sale. That sale is going to end here probably within the next few hours. We did extend it. It is on sale for $42. The regular price is $50 plus shipping. And then we also have a few Valentine's Day cards. If you're like me, I don't like getting that sack full of candy. When my son comes home from school on the holidays, he gets plenty of candy here. I don't need a whole bag, so we kept that in mind, and we made a few Valentine's Day cards that actually have shaped crayons on them, so you don't have to actually give candy. It is a nice little thing to give. But today we're going to be starting out with. I'm going to start with the peony. I am using floral wire. I got a roll of it. I couldn't find the actual floral picks to use, so I got the wire, and I'm just going to twist it up, and we're going to start with that instead. So I'm just going to start twisting this around just to kind of stiffen it up a little bit, and then we're going to build the peony off of that. It doesn't have to be super long because, again, we are just putting it in the grapevine one, and we're just going to hot glue it. The reason why I am using this for the peony is you kind of have to build it off of the wire, so you have to start it on the wire. The other flowers, you don't have to start it off of wire. So I'm probably going to twist this around and then do one more around with what's left of the tail, and then I'm just going to cut off what's extra. So we just wanted to make it stiff enough to where it'll hold the flower. It doesn't have to be too long, so you can probably see it now. This is the normal length. So I just twisted it around twice. I just used regular wire cutters. There are ones that you can get in a floral department. I just got these out of my husband's toolbox. So I did leave a little bit of a loop right there just so it can kind of hold the petal. And we do have a few different size petals. So we're going to start off small. This is a light pink. And then they do progressively get bigger. In total, there's 5 shapes. You're going to cut about 4 of the 2 smaller ones, and then you're going to cut 6 of the larger ones until you get to the largest. And then we are going to need to cut. We are going to need to cut a little slit at the bottom for them. So we're just going to cut a small slit, and then we're going to hot glue that together to where it kind of petals up and it gets a bowl shape. The larger ones are going to get 2 slits because they do need to be a little more bold to make that peony. And then we're just going to use a drop of hot glue. I'm going to let that dry for a second, and I'm just going to start this one on here. The first one, you're just going to wrap around it just to hide the wire. And I'm going to use a little bit more just to hide the top of that wire. Here we go. So here we go. And then, so it does hide the wire. It's going to make a cute little inner pelt. So this one's dried. It has a little bit of a bowl. We don't want too much on the inner ones just because we are going to be building on that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue where that bowl is. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And then we're going to start building it from there. I think the hardest part was just cutting all of them and making sure that I kind of got the right size on them because I progressively wanted to keep getting bigger. So this is what the first one looks like. And then we're going to do the next one on the other side. So you can, when you cut these, go ahead and cut all the slits. I did not. I just kept cutting. So you're going to see me cutting them as I go. And then we also have a few other flowers we're going to do in different designs. They're all sticking to me. If you're joining me, make sure you're saying hi. I'd like to know where you're watching from. Right, here we go. All right, so this one I'm going to put on the other side. Right. And then I am going to put a little hot glue to kind of tuck in that other one, the one that was on there first. Right. There we go. So this is the start. And then we're going to start building on the sides where they kind of connect. If you're using a high heat gun, you may need to pause in between and doing them to kind of give a chance for the glue to cool off a little bit. Otherwise, your flower is going to get too hot. So. we go. All right, so I'm going to start on the second size. I only did 4 of these, so it's slightly bigger. It's just going to help compensate for the bigger the outside gets. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the slits on these. Right. So I'm just going to glue these and give them a chance to dry. And right. So we do have some exciting things coming up. I do have, we're going to be doing craft boxes. I'm actually going to post about that tomorrow with the pricing and all the information, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a children's craft box and we're going to have an adult craft box that you can purchase where all the materials and supplies will be included. The children's box will include glue, scissors, markers. It'll have 6 crafts and a lot of fun little activities for them to do. So that should be fun for them. And then the adult box has 3 crafts and some recipes and some other fun things in there. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. I know Trisha is too. I can't wait to see how that turns out. Right. So this is how it's starting to look, and we're just going to keep building on that, and we're going to start going around in a circle. All right. Here we go. Right. So just overlapping a little bit, and then we're going to keep doing that. Right. All right. We're going to do this one. So when I cut the petals, I did kind of groove the tops of them just to kind of give it a little extra texture, because if they're all round, they're going to come out looking all one shape. And so I did cut them. I just grooved them so they're not all the same shape. They're a little random. Okay. So while this one dries a little bit, I'm going to start cutting the slits in the other ones, the next size up. I'm doing about 1/2 inch slit for the bigger ones, just so that way it's a deeper bowl for the petal. So this is how they kind of come out looking. Right. So I'm going to attach this one now. looks. And I'm going to get these ready now. If you're watching, make sure you're saying hi. Let me know where you're from. I see a few people are watching. All right. So we have that one ready. I'm going to let it dry. I keep getting the hairs since I'm using a high temperature one. So here we go. All right. So since these petals are a little bigger, I'm going to use a little bit more glue. So that's how much glue I used. And I'm just going to cover it up with the petal. Okay. So far it's actually turning out pretty good. I'm actually liking how it looks. I was a little worried since I hadn't made them before, but they actually look kind of cute. And then I am going to put this around the wreath, and I'm going to paint the letter, and we're going to attach that here in a few minutes. Right. So here we go. So we have 2 of the 5 size petals on here. So it is going to be a pretty thick flower, pretty wide. Right now it kind of looks like a rose, but as the petals become increased, it'll look more like a peony. Right. So I just have a few more from this size to finish, and then we'll keep going. Right. So far, what do you guys think of the peony? Are you liking it? Have you tried making felt flowers before? This is my first time, so I'm actually quite happy with how it looks so far. Right. There we go. So here's the last 2 for size 3. And then we're going to move on to the bigger petals. Right. So I am going to go a little bit faster on this so we can get this one done and we can start on the other ones. That's how it looks so far. So I'm just going to glue these all together at once, and then we'll put them on. We'll build it on. So I am going to do a little bit deeper bowl on these, just so they start building out a little bit more. So I'm just putting the rest of these together, and then we'll put these on. So there still is time to book a paint party for February. You can pick a date. We do have a few scheduled for February. We do have that giveaway that we gave away. She has her group of friends. She's going to get back to me on a date. But we're pretty open on February. There are a few dates that we're not going to be available because we are already booked. But it should be fun. And then tomorrow I'm actually going to show you the Easter ones that I have coming up, Easter and spring. They're actually really cute. I'm excited for those. They turned out really cute. We have an Easter egg. We have an umbrella yard stake. So it kind of looks like the stake is the handle on the umbrella. We have a cross. And we also have a peep. We did the Easter bunny peep. It's going to be super cute. I have to paint that one a little bit later. I'll post pictures tomorrow for it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like here in just a second once I get these last two petals for this size on. And then we have one more size petal after this. So I am making sure I'm using quite a bit of hot glue on the larger petals just because there's a lot more surface area to kind of hold on. So this is how it looks so far. And you go around. So we do have one more size petal to do. They're bigger, so they should make bigger bowls and they can stick out. If when I'm done, it's not as big as I want, I can always do a larger petal, make them wider, a little bit taller, and then keep going until I have it the right size that I want. Start with these two. So for the larger petals, I didn't make all of the 6 last petals the same size. I did kind of increase them as I cut, just so that way I can get a really big size at the end. Here we go. So again, we're just folding that over to get a good size. We are supposed to do 2, so the last 3, I'm actually going to do 2 slits, so that way they kind of fold in more and they make a better bowl. All right. So for these ones, I'm going to put the hot glue towards the bottom just to kind of hold it so it's not sticking the sides and making them sticking that way. Okay. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next one. Right. So I have these 3 on there. All right. So this is how it looks so far. And then I have 3 more that I'm going to do. I'm going to put those on the outside, and then we're going to actually attach it to my wreath over here. I bought it from Hobby Lobby. It was under $5. It's the 18-inch grapevine. If you are trying to be pretty thrifty, You can get a smaller version. I think they have a 10-inch at the Dollar Tree. It's a little bit thinner, but you could do smaller felt flowers and put those on. I decided I wanted a little bit bigger one, but you can do this all from materials from the Dollar Tree. They have ribbon, they have felt. Honestly, believe they even have the wire that you would need. But if you don't have wire, you could probably get away with using just about anything. A bread tie, pretty much anything that's just strong enough to kind of hold it. All right, so these ones I'm going to do 2. So one here and one here, just so that way I can fold it and make a deeper cut. All right. So I'm gonna let that one dry a little bit. Go on, Logan. Go watch TV.
I help with you.
So this is my son. He's 4. He wants to help. How about this? I will let you help me later. Do you want to take this one and go show Daddy?
Yes.
Okay. Can you shut the door behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So then I'm gonna put this one on here. If you're watching, say hi. I'd like to know where you're watching from. So that one's this side. And then we'll go back. I just wanted to give those ones a chance to cool a little bit since I am using a high temperature one. I didn't want to burn my fingers. So I'm going to do that. And just the same thing on this side, and stick it in there. So. Okay, so if you see here, let me see. So they're deeper bowls than the other ones, and they bend a little bit more, so they're actually going to hold the shape a little bit better. Right. So here we go. I'm laughing because I can hear my son out there. He's unraveled the flower and he's a ninja. So apparently he's wrapped it around his head. I didn't hot glue that one.
Mom!
Yes, baby.
I am ninja!
That's pretty cool. Go
what
play.
A picture for you.
Yes, mommy's busy right now. Can you go play? Go be a ninja in the living room.
That's my hand.
It is your hand. Go.
I have a big one.
No, you can't have a big one, but you can. Do you want to take this and go make something with it?
I have one daddy, a trained ninja. My daddy a ninja. You a ninja?
All right. So, if you have kids, you know, they want to be involved in everything. All right. So, this is how it's turning out. I'm actually quite happy with it. And then we have one more petal that we're going to put on here, and then this flower will be done, and we can start on the easier ones. So this one is on here. Since this is the last one, I'm just going to kind of make sure it's all the way secure on here, just because we don't want the flower to unravel. There we go. So this is how it turned out. And then don't have to worry so much about the bottom because that's going to get hot glued onto the wreath. So with this wreath, I've decided that I'm going to do it this way because it is kind of an oval. And I'm going to put flowers along this side. And then I'm going to put the letter C over here. I'm going to paint it blue and white, and I'm going to paint the white flowers. So this one I'm just going to attach, and then I'm going to do the smaller ones later. The smaller flowers, I'm going to attach those as we get those done, so I can kind of play with them. So this one's the peony one, and then the other ones are just going to be like roses. So I am using a healthy amount of hot glue. You can always go back and give it a little bit more hot glue. So this is how it looks. So the other flowers are going to come around here and up here, and then we're going to put the letter C right here. So I'm going to put this back down and let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how to do the other flowers now. I did contemplate doing a smaller a smaller wreath. They do have those ones from the Dollar Tree. They're $1, they're 10 inches, and I think they have a 4-inch one too. I did decide that I wanted a little bit bigger one, so that's why I did go to Hobby Lobby. Even so, it was only $5, and then I was paying 33 cents for a whole sheet of felt, and I did get three of these out of here, so it's 3 flowers. So it's not bad. It's 10 cents a flower. Sometimes the flowers at Hobby Lobby, if you don't find them on sale, can actually be pretty expensive, and so it can add up. So what I did for this, it is just a string. I cut around in a circle. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm just going to first show you how to ravel this one. And then I also did one of the pink ones, and I kind of pleated around the side. So they're different shapes. So they're not going to be all of a circle and they look like a roll up. They're going to look more like petals. And I'm going to show you how to do that one with the white one here in a minute. So, all right. So the way I did it earlier, when I tested it with the green, I just twisted it all the way around. And then at the end, you can hot glue it. Because you're going to hot glue the bottom, so it's going to kind of hold all the pieces together. I'm not doing it super tight because I want it to have a little bit of space in it, but I am doing it tight enough to where it's not going to unravel when I let go. So when I cut these, I wasn't super concerned about making sure I was cutting in a perfect circle around, just because the little bit of variation mistakes that I was making kind of helped the shape. I don't know if you can see it. There's like little ridges in there. I actually kind of like that. So I'm just going to get a flap, and then I'm going to hot glue it, and then I'm going to start that pleated one in the pink. And then we're going to let this one dry.
Why are you making another one?
Because Mommy's busy, baby. Can you go cut this one out for Mommy?
Yes.
Okay, you go have Daddy help you. Okay, thank you.
I love this.
No, there's scissors out there. Go find scissors.
I have glue scissors.
Mommy's using those scissors.
Please.
No, there's scissors out there. And so now I'm going to start this one that has the pleated. So it'll be a little bit more ridgy and when I roll it up. Okay, so I just kind of rolled it up in a little circle. Alright. Excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm just going to shut this door and then I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So it's almost their bedtime, so they're getting a little grumpy. So I'm just going to roll this one up just like I did the other one. So it should look, this one is a little bit longer, so it is going to be a little bit wider. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to keep rolling this up until I have it. I'm not really concerned, again, rolling it up perfect, just because there's going to be little ridges in it. Nope, it unraveled a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually hot glue, since it is a little bit harder since it is ridged. Right. Okay, so I'm going to keep going until I get this done, and then I'm going to actually show you how to cut them. Right. So here we go. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. Last time I went live, I had people, a lot of people from Michigan and Indiana, a few people from Florida. I'm in Florida. Trisha's in Indiana, so that kind of made sense. See, Wanda was on there a little bit ago. I think my messages are delayed a little bit. If you're still watching, Wanda, I'm sorry about that. I didn't see it. All right. Go. So I am kind of using a little bit more hot glue on this one than the other ones because they are pleated. So I am trying to hold the petals in place a little bit more. I promise you the video is not doing it justice because you can't really see how pretty it is. I promise I'm going to post pictures in the morning once I get it done. Just because they're so cute and they're really not that hard to do. The biggest part is cutting them. So these are actually quite cute. And I'm going to attach it here in a minute. Probably start with the white one right here. So I'm going to let this one cool just for a minute. And I'm going to bring this one up here. And before I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of a green petal here so I don't lose that part. And so this is just green felt too. So just an odd shape. I'm just going to stick it on the side of here, just so it looks a little bit. So here's some hot glue. And I'm just going to stick it actually right onto the grapevine. And it's not actually on the flower, it's just kind of sitting next to it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just sitting next to it. And then I'm actually going to put the white one right near that. Just kind of like wedge it in there. So I'm using, again, a healthy amount of hot glue on the bottom just to hold it in there. If you've watched me before, you've heard me talk about how wreaths are not my thing. I love them. I think they're absolutely adorable. They're just not the easiest for me to make. When I use ribbon and burlap, Trisha is actually amazing with it. So I thought I would try a different technique and use a grapevine one and make flowers. So far, I'm actually really liking how it's turning out. So that's how the white one's going to go. And I'm just going to mix smaller white and pink ones. As you can see, this pink one's a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna probably put it over here, and then I'm gonna put little smaller white ones in there. Another piece of hot glue. All right. All right. There we go. So there's another pink one, and then I'm going to put a little bit more green in there. So I kind of fold it up a little bit, so you can see more green as I go through. But right now I'm going to show you how to cut those. So the pink one, I'm just going to do like I did that first little one, and I'm just going to cut it all the way around. I am using fabric scissors because it is felt. It is easier to cut. I'm just going around. In a circle. I used a DVD, and I just traced it, and I made a circle, and then I cut it out. And that's how I got the circle. You can use bigger ones. You can use bigger circles, smaller ones. I could have used the cookie cutters, the circle ones that I have in the kitchen. They're large, they're for cakes, but I just didn't cut those. I used DVD. All right. So at the end, you just kind of have this little tail, and that's what I'm going to ball up, and then I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here just so it kind of holds it. And not too much because you don't want to burn your fingers. There we go. Right. So we're just going to keep going around. So this is how it looks so far. Just like the other one. It doesn't have as many pleats because I didn't do the pleated. I'm going to do that here in a minute with this one. And then once we get some of these flowers done, I am going to paint that the letter C, and we're going to attach that as well. So I may take a break from flowers here in a minute and just paint the letter C so it can dry while we finish up the flowers. Right, so here we go. Kind of holding it in place. So I'm not wrapping it super tight because I do kind of want a little bit of space, like natural petals. I don't want it to look like a roll up. Here we go. So this is what it looks like. So that's another pink one. I'm gonna let this one dry a little bit while we cut this one. Okay. So I'm going to start with the outside, and I'm going to pleat the edges. You can do wider ones. I am doing a little bit smaller because it is going to be a smaller flower. The one that I wrapped up a little bit ago, this flower right here, I did do larger little rounded areas because it was a little bit larger flower. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go all the way around, and then I'm going to match up here, and then I'm going to start doing the inside ones. I noticed that some people online, they were using their new circuit ones, the ones that cut the fabric too. I do not have a circuit, so I am just cutting it by hand. Plus, I wanted to show you guys that it's really easy enough that if you have the patience, you could do it too. Cut that part off. Here, just a second, I'm going to show you what it looks like so far. So this is what it looks like so far. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I get all the way in the center, and then we can start gluing it together. So again, it's not hard. It's just being patient enough to not get frustrated with it. The same with the peony. I think the most difficult part about the peony was just cutting out the petals, and that wasn't hard. It took a little bit of time, making sure you got the sizes about the same. They didn't have to be perfect, but again, it was really easy too. Okay. The inside doesn't have to be perfect because, again, it's going to kind of be balled up for the most part. Okay. Okay, so there we go. This is how it looks, and then all the pleated edges. So, again, I'm just going to hot glue this part, and then we're going to roll it up. Right, here we go. So part of the reason why I did such small rounded pieces is just so they stand out a little bit more. Since it is a smaller flower, I didn't want it to look like a little roll up like the other ones. Right. So I don't know if you can see it yet. That's how it looks so far. It is going to be a smaller flower than the other one that I did like this. And then we're going to keep going. And then once we get this on there, I'm going to glue those on there, and then we're going to paint the letter C so that can dry while we finish up the flowers. The other ones should go quickly because they're going to be just round. I'm going to show you how I cut those. So I am just pausing so the rounded edges don't move too much. Okay. And this is how it looks. It looks so much prettier in person, I promise. So here we go. And then I'm going to glue those on here. I'm going to put a little bit of green in there just so that way it's not all pink and white. So here's another petal. And I'm going to turn it so you guys can see it. So I'm just going to stick it right here onto on the grapevine. And then I'm going to put this white flower right next to it right there. Right. So that's how it looks right now. And then I'm going to do a few up here, but I am just building down here first. I'm going to do some smaller white and pink ones just to fill in the empty spaces and in between. Just kind of fill it in, put a little more green in there. This one right here, I'm actually going to stick to the flower. But I did do a smaller piece, so that way. Look at it. All right. So I'm going to move on to the letter C, and we're just going to paint that. I'm going to do a blue, so it kind of does it all with pink and white. So I got this one. This one was, I think, $2.50 at Hobby Lobby. They had other designs. I did like this one though. I like the size of it. So I'm gonna just start off with blue. I get the Apple Barrel. This one's Key West. It's like a lighter. It's a pretty bright, but it's not too dark. And then I'm going to outline in white once the blue dries. I do get my brushes at Walmart. This came in a pack. I think it had like 12 for $5. I do prefer the white tipped ones though. So I am going to try not to get too much on the table, just because I don't want it to get onto any of the felt. Right. So I'm just going to give this a healthy coat, and then we're going to set it aside when I'm done, and we're going to do some more flowers. All right. So this is the color it looks so far. It actually looks kind of dull on the screen, but it is pretty bright. Okay, so that's how it looks so far, and I'm just going to do the edges real quick, and then we're going to set this aside. Right. Right. If you're just joining, I am just painting the blue onto the letter C, and I'm going to set it aside for a minute and let it dry and continue to do the felt flowers. I just want to give this a chance to get painted and dried while we continue the flowers. Show you how it looks so far, the wreath. I am just using paint from Walmart. I like the apple barrel. It's 50 cents a piece. They have some really pretty colors. Right. Okay. So I'm almost done with this, and then we'll finish the flowers. If you're joining, make sure you're letting me know where you're watching from. Alrighty, so almost done here. And we'll show you the other one. Alright, so there we go. So I just did one coating. I may need to do another coat later. I'm just making sure I get all the excess paint off. There we go. So it's upside down, but there's the letter C. It does a lot brighter than the camera's picking up, but it is actually quite bright. Just set this over here. I'm going to show you what this one looks like so far, the wreath. So we've been doing some flowers if you're just joining. These are out of felt. So this one right here is a peony. And then these are just rolled up pieces of felt, cut in a circle. These ones have texture. These are a little bit more just round roll up. We also have another one right here that we did a few minutes ago that I'm going to attach. And then I have more to show you how I cut it. And then we're going to roll those up and do a few more while this dries. So we do have a few exciting things coming up. I did mention it earlier, but if you are just joining, we have craft boxes that I'm going to post about tomorrow. I'm actually quite excited about it. It's going to be a complete box of crafts. You're going to get 3 crafts. You're going to get all of the materials to do those crafts. And then I will be going live to teach you how to do those. It should be fairly simple. Right. There we go. So that's just attached there. And then I'm going to do a few up here. So we're going to set this over here. So I do have a few more. This one, I cut them already. These are just regular circled ones, just so they'd be ready. I did show how to cut those earlier. I did just use a DVD, and I cut around, circled around it, and just cut it. Just gonna roll these up. One second. All right, so I'm just going to keep rolling this up. These ones are actually quite easy because they don't have those pleats, so you don't have to be quite as careful with them. Make sure the pleats don't fall out. Just roll it up. Right, so that one's all done. Just gonna put it out a little bit. There we go. So this one's done. Alright, so we're going to do a pink one now. Alright. Alright. So I'm just going to roll this one up. So next week I am actually going to do a Dollar Tree craft. I'm going to get all the supplies. I just didn't get a chance to get all of them to do that this week. But I am going to do that next week, so I could do a live for that. So if you're into more Dollar Tree crafts, I will have another video next weekend. More geared towards cheaper ones. Although this one is actually pretty affordable. You could get the stuff at Dollar Tree. So here's another one. So I have two more to do quickly, and then I'm just going to attach those around the top of the wreath up here. So we're just going to attach those up here, and then I'm going to attach the letter C before I make any more flowers. Okay. Alright. So far, what do you guys think? Are you liking it? How it's turning out? I know it's a fairly simple concept. I know most people probably know how to do this, or have seen people do it. But I hadn't tried it before, so I thought I'd give it a try. Let's see. Here we go. So, again, I'm just being messy when I wrap these up, just because they don't need to be perfect. Sometimes when there's space in between, it actually makes it look a little more realistic. So here we go. Just gonna hot glue these on here, and then I got a little bit of the hot glue on me. There we go. So there we go. There's the next one. This is what I was talking about, the space. So there's a little bit of space in there. It looks a lot better in person. So I have 3, and this is the last one that I have. This one's a little bit bigger. Just going to use a little bit of hot glue to hold that center part. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to finish wrapping this one up, and then we'll attach those on. So again, I'm not being perfect. I'm just wrapping it up, and I'll attach the other one. So just kind of unraveling on this. I'm just going to hot glue it, hold it in place, and then continue. There we go. So here's this one. Alright. I'm going to start attaching these up here. I am going to put a little bit of green in between them. Like I did these, I'll probably fill in more green later. I'm going to turn it so you guys can kind of see it too. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to use a little bit of green font, just tipped, and I'm going to put that right here, and then I'm going to put actually the white flower on top of it. So this is how it looks. Alright, so I'm going to put the smaller pink one next. Alright. I'm just going to do like a tip of a flower. And I'm actually going to just stick that directly to the flower. There we go. So that's how it looks so far. And I am going to use the bigger of the two, since that one flower was smaller. And I am going to just kind of pull it apart a little bit to give it a little bit more space. Stick in there. All right. And I'm going to put this last one down here at the bottom, and then I'm going to trail off with smaller ones that I'm going to do here in a minute. Just because I'm going to put the C first, and I want to kind of fill it in with the smaller flowers. Perfect. I'm actually just going to put here, and I'm going to put a little bit more green. So just regular felt, and I'm just going to cut tipped edges. So just kind of tips. I'm going to do some smaller ones just for the smaller flowers. I do want to get a little bit more green in there, so it looks a little more real. They don't have to be perfect sizes. So I'm going to do a little bit more green on this flower over here on the other side. And then I'm going to do some up here on this flower. Alright, so this is how it looks so far. It's actually going to be this side. So this is the top, this is the bottom. I'm going to put more smaller ones going down. Alright, so I'm going to attach the blue here in just a second. I'm going to paint it white, and then we're gonna attach it. Put some white on it. So I think it actually needs a little bit more blue. Yeah. So I'm going to do a little bit more blue on it, and then we're going to do the white in a minute. Okay. I'm not too concerned about the outer edges just because I already got those. I think we're going to do the inside of this. I'm going to paint in a little bit of white. I'll probably do that after, once I get all the flowers on. Since I'm going to do the inside white, I don't necessarily need it. It can be on the wreath. So we could actually go ahead and glue this if we wanted to. Okay. There we go. It's a little brighter. Can see it. But I'm going to attach this seed to the lower corner. So I'm going to have to hold this on here since the branches are different heights. I just chose some of the higher ones, and hopefully the glue sticks. So I will have to go through and build up the hot glue on some of the lower branches just to give it a little bit more support. Bring it over here. And we're going to give this a chance to cool down some. Since I did use high temperature, it'll take a little bit longer. Alright. So what are you guys thinking so far? Do you like it? Is there something that you probably do different if you decide to make this? I probably stood at Hobby Lobby for a good 40 minutes yesterday, just trying to decide on what colors I was going to do and how big I was going to do it. Then they came across this weekend and they're like, hey, you gotta go. So I just grabbed it and I decided to go with this with this one. This one's an 18-inch reef. They did have smaller ones. I just decided to go with the medium size because I didn't want it to be too small. So I'm going to have to just let that sit there for a little bit. While that's kind of cooling and setting, I'm going to do some of the smaller flowers. I have a little bit of pink left. And I have a sheet of white. So they don't have to be perfect circles. They just have to kind of be circular. This is the size. And then just going to go around like I did the other ones. There we go. And make a circle out of this one. Do another small one. All right. There's another one. All right. Just some small ones. All right. So I thought about just doing another big one, but I decided that I just want to do smaller ones, just to kind of fill in the spaces and how I have a little bit more of them. The more shallow that you make the cuts, the wider it'll actually turn out. So some of them I'm going to make a little bit taller by making the cuts a little bit thicker, the strip a little bit thicker. So there's another one. So this one's going to be a little bit wider since it is longer. And I think I can get 2 more small pink ones out of this. At least that's going to be my goal. And then I have a whole sheet of white, so I'm going to do a little bit more with the white ones. Probably a lot more of the smaller ones. Just because I kind of want to fill in across the rest of the wreath with baby flowers. Here we go. And another one. And then I think I can get one more out of this. Yeah, definitely. So they're not perfect circles, but they work. All right. All right. So I actually did get quite a bit of the done with the pinks. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 baby ones that I can use in between these. So what I'm going to do, since I'm going to do a lot of smaller ones, is I'm going to build all the smaller ones while this is still setting. I'm going to add a little bit more hot glue, and then I'm going to build all of these flowers, and then when we're all done, we'll attach them. So we're almost done here, folks. Great, so I think that should be a good enough hold on it. It's actually pretty well on there. I'm just going to let that last bit of hot glue dry, and then we'll all right. Great. So here we go. The little ones are a little tougher just because there's not as much to hold on to. And so you will see me using a little bit more hot glue just to kind of stick it in place as I keep going. Okay. So again, they're not hard to do. It's actually quite easy. I'm really actually I'm very happy with how it turned out so far. For not usually being a wreath person, I'm happy. So I'm not using a whole lot of hot glue. I'm just barely putting a little bit on there just to kind of hold it on there. this actually turned out pretty cute. And it's not actually that much smaller because I made them thinner. So it is pretty thin, but it's still really cute. Set that aside, and we'll do the rest of these pink. Great. Okay. Right. So I am just going to finish this one up real quick. I actually thought this would take a little bit longer than it actually has. So it's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. All right. So again, just be careful when you're doing the little ones with the hot glue. I keep barely dabbing my fingers in it, and so you keep seeing me pull away. So you do have to be careful. All right. So here we go. So this one's a little bit smaller, not a whole lot, because again, I made it pretty thin. So here's two more small ones. If you're just joining, this is what we've been doing so far. I painted the letter C. I'm going to probably go back and put some white on it, but for now I just left it blue. I'm actually quite liking it. So I'm just doing smaller flowers just to fill in the spots. And then I'm going to do some more white ones to fill in as well. So we're just wrapping it up here, getting that all finished. So I did already cut them. It's just circles, and then around you just cut, keep going down smaller. Here, I'll show you. So they're just circles, and then you just spiral cut them. You can do pleats, and they come out a little more like a rose, or you can just do circles. They all turn out really pretty. So this one's going to be a little bit smaller because it's not as thin. So it's actually not going to be as wide. There we go. That's how this one looks. Smaller. So if you can tell the difference between the one that I cut thin and this one, it's about half the size. It's a baby flower. Don't know if I have enough pink. Yeah, I might have enough pink to do even smaller ones. So I may just do a couple really tiny ones just to taper off in. But for now, we're just going to start with this size. So I keep getting my finger into the hot glue, so I'm trying not to do that. Just a little bit. Right. So I have to say I was really impressed with myself when I went to Hobby Lobby. Even though I stood there forever like an idiot looking around, trying to figure out what I was going to do. I did go with a shopping list to get materials for a different project. And so the total amount that I had planned to spend, even though I got the stuff for this, I was still right on the money, like exactly on the dollar. I was so happy. It was the first time I've ever gone into Hobby Lobby, or any other craft store for that matter, and actually stayed on my budget. I came home and I told my husband, I was like, "You'll be so proud of me." So it's really not that expensive to do this. I think the whole thing, the most expensive thing was the reef, and it was less than $5. And then I think I probably have less than $10 in the whole reef, and that's actually pretty good. Because reefs do kind of get expensive sometimes. Mostly that's because of the flowers, the artificial flowers. You can find them on sale sometimes, and that's nice. So there we go. So this one's done. There we go. They're turning out so pretty. I'm so happy. And so I might do a couple small pleated ones, just baby pleated ones, just because these aren't in any of these aren't pleated. I didn't get a whole lot pleated, and I don't have any up here pleated, so I'll probably do a pleated one up here, and then a bigger pleated one. Not a big one, but a smaller white pleated one. There we go. Just a little bit of hot glue to hold it. Okay. Some of these flowers remind me of the Beauty and the Beast flower. Like the drawings of them. this is the last pink one that I'm doing right now. Just gonna roll it on there. There we go. And voila! That's the last pink one. That one's a little warm just because I finished putting the glue on there. Alright. So I have one last sheet of white. You can use circles to cut them out. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to just make circles. I'm going to do some baby ones, some a little bit bigger ones, and I am going to do one medium-sized one pleated to match the one that's down here. All right. So I'm just going to cut this one across, and then I'm going to make 3 baby flowers out of this. Don't know if you can hear it, but my son, he's talking to me through the door. He's asking for scissors. He wants to make flowers too. Yesterday, we actually did some projects from the Kids Craft box that I'm going to be launching tomorrow. We're going to post about it. I'll show you some of the pictures. They're really easy stuff. He's 4. He was able to do it. Obviously, he needed a little bit more help than some of the older kids might, but he did really well with it. He had fun. So we'll post pictures about the crafts box, and it'll be on the website tomorrow before the end of the day, as well as the adult box. That'll be on there. The adult box has 3 crafts, some recipes and some tips and different things like that. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. I'm really excited for it. I know that there's a lot of craft boxes out there right now, but I haven't really seen any for kids ones. I'm a mom. Trisha's a mom. Nothing drives us more crazy than I'm bored, so we tried to cut that a little bit. So this is how I'm going to do the baby one. I just went around and cut it, and I'm going to do the inside now. Right. So it's not perfect, and that's okay. All right. There we go. We're just finishing up these ones. actually really like how this one turned out. It's a baby pleated one. Looks more like a rose. Can't really see it on the video, but I promise it's so cute. And so that one I'm going to put right there, but I'm going to put a baby pink one up here. Might just do it like that. Yeah, probably stick it like that. But these ones I'm just going to do in circles, just so that way they're simple and they're small. There we go. So it's not a perfect circle, but that's okay. There we go. Another circle. There we go. So I'm going to do 3 more little ones like that. And then I'm going to do probably 2 bigger ones just to kind of fill a little bit more of the space. I might just do 1 bigger one. You'll see. There's 1, 2, 3. All right. Another one, and I might just make these smaller ones because I don't think I need bigger ones. I think I have enough to just make tiny ones. Just fill in the spaces with those. But I'm just going to start with these before I do any small ones because I may not need them. I won't know until I get these placed on there. There we go. There we go. I know some people can do the burlap flowers, and that'll be my next personal project to do. Because I think they're so pretty. I just haven't ever tried them. Here we go. Center. So if you do go back and watch this later, if you weren't able to join live, just make sure you drop a comment. I want to know how you guys think of it. I know felt flowers aren't for everybody. But they are actually really cute. I've never really considered them before. So I'm glad I gave them a try. They're pretty cute. roll this one off into there we go. Just 2 more after this one, and then I am done making them for now, and we'll just stick them on there, and we'll call that. I think we can call it quits after that. I think we'll be all done. Okay. There we go. So I'm just finishing these up, and then we're going to stick them on there. Okay. And for this one, there we go. So we're actually going to start sticking these on here. I'm going to do a little bit bigger ones. I'm going to cut some more green shaped ones. We're going to stick them on there. They're going to be adorable. This full-size leaf, we're going to cut it in half. We're going to do another one here. So we're also going to cut this one in half. We're going to start with that, and we're just going to stick them on before we put the flowers. There we go. So we're going to start with that. Okay. I use a little white one. So I'm just going to let these dry a little bit. And then we'll build a little bit more on the top. And then I think we'll be done for today. Let me show you how it looks first. This pleated one that I did earlier, I'm going to put it at the top. Okay, so this one, stick right there. Okay, do another white one right here. Pink one. And another white one, and then we're going to put the pink one down here. Okay. Perfect. I think I might just put this pink one right here. There we go. So this is how it's turned out. I'm going to fill in a little bit more of the green stuff. I might make some baby ones and just fill in some small spaces. But for now, it's pretty close to finish. I'm going to post pictures, take it outside tomorrow and post pictures when it's all done. So this is what it looks like. This is the peony that we did, the first flower that we did. I'm in love with this flower. And then here are the smaller ones. And top. Nope. And here's the letter C that we did. So again, this whole wreath, everything in here, cost me less than $10 to make. It's super affordable to make on your own. It just takes some time. You just have to play with it. But if you watch this later, let me know what you think about the felt flowers. Are you a fan? What do you like to use? Yeah, absolutely. Just let me know. I'll see you guys later.